Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Delightful Creations by Amber. Today we're going to go ahead and get this journal just about finished up. I want to bind it and then add in our decorative pieces and finish the cover. Hopefully I can cram that all into one video. So let's get started. First of all, I'm going to go to the center of my pages and I'm going to pull in some clips. I'm going to do the classic 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Nothing too fancy, and mainly because that's pretty much the basic way to sew in a journal that I can do, and it's really quick and easy, and I don't have to do a lot of thinking, and I'm able to talk. I'm just clipping those in. I'm going to go ahead and thread my needle with some embroidery floss that I have sitting off to the side. It's kind of like a light creamy champagne color. It's almost got a hint of pink to it. And now I got to find the tail again. I just had it before I turned on the camera. It never fails. There it is. It always gets lost. So I'm going to thread my needle, and then I'm going to sew through my pages and then my cover. This is quite thick with all of these papers, and the cover, I'm just afraid I'm not going to get through all of it all in one shot. Okay, this little fella here is not cooperating today. So I'm trying to wiggle all of these little strands in there. It's not working, so I'm going to snip you off right here where I know it's fresh, and you should slide right in. Most of the time, that's how this works. Not today. I apologize, you guys. I apologize. It's just not wanting to cooperate. There we go. Slide that in. I'm going to make a little tail on the end of my thread. I'm going to go ahead and pre-measure my thread. I want 3 times the length of my book. It's the quickest way to measure. So I'm going to pull my needle to the top and measure that. 1, there's 2, and 3. Whoops, now I've got my needle through my scissors. I'm going to snip off my thread down here, and I can get this all out of my way. All right, needle is threaded. So I got my awl right here. I'm going to poke this right about in the center, wherever looks good to me. I'm not measuring, I'm not fussing about it. I'm just going to go for it. So the first hole is usually the easiest for me to get through because I don't have to do anything besides just poke it and come through. Now I want to make sure that I don't pull my thread all the way through my journal. I'm going to have to redo that. I'm going to place this into the cover now. I'm going to line it up with where I want it, and then just making sure that it's not too far over, like the width up and down. And I'm going to pull my awl back in here, and I'm just going to line it up right where that hole is already punched, right through here, and it should go right through my journal cover. See? Nice and easy. Then grab my needle and thread and pull that through as well. Nice and tight. Again, leaving a tail. I always like to have a visible tail on the inside so that I know that I haven't pulled too far. Now going back through here is going to be a little bit trickier, so I'm going to slide this out of the way, grab the tail with it, and I'm going to poke it through this way. I'm going to turn my journal cover, and what I'm going to do is I want to make sure, because some of these pages are smaller than others, I'm going to come down, line my pages up here. See, here's my pink stitching. I know you guys can't see that on camera. So I'm going to come down from the pink stitching, and I have 2 rows of what looks like ribbonish stuff, which is probably maybe 1/2 inch. And I'm just going to go ahead and poke right here. So from the top to where I'm at, it's about 1 inch or so. Right here. And it should go right through. I just don't want to get it through my finger. That would hurt. I'm going to poke my thread and needle through the other side and grab it. And then nice and easy, again, I can just align this up on this inside here. I'm going to pull that quite tight. Smash that flat. I can see that it needs to go like right about here to go inside of all my pages. So I'm going to go like that. I'm going to turn my book this way and just kind of give myself an eyeball. Oops, I poked through there. I didn't mean to do that. And it's like right here towards the top, which is like right about here. I feel like, boom, just like that. Done. Really easy. I mean, you can get technical. You can go ahead and measure it and make a little template, whatever you feel comfortable with. But for me, I'm not being too picky about it. You know, I have bound them where they're like way off and then I go back and I fix it. But for the most part, this is how I do everything. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn my book and I'm going to cross my strings. I'm going to pull it quite tight, but not ripping. I'm going to go back through the center of my pages, making sure I miss the rest of that embroidery thread. And then I will go through the cover again. Super easy. Make sure you miss your embroidery thread, otherwise you'll have a tangled mess. Okay. I still have my tail on the inside, so now I can pull this nice and tight, and we're halfway done already. Look at that. It's not stressful. Don't stress about it. Okay, I have a lot of people commenting and saying, oh my gosh, there's no way I can do that. So again, I have my pink thread right here. I'm going to come up about 1/2 inch, which is right about here. And it looks to be about 1 inch. I have my measuring mat underneath me, you know, I could use it, but I just don't measure, you guys. I just eyeball it. Just use your eyeballs. It's usually right. But if you're not confident in that, that's all right. You go ahead and measure your stuff out. So I'm just making sure I'm not going to poke through my pages. I'm sliding that out of the way for right now. And I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to put it right here. Boom. And I'm going to slide in our needle. Super easy. And that is it. We are done. We don't have to use any more thinking about this. We're just going to line this up. Same thing as before. I'm going to pull this quite tight here. Make sure I still have my tail. There we go. I have a lot of excess thread here, which is really neat. I'm going to do a little bit of danglies on the inside, but I don't want mine to be chunky. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of give that a nice little poke right about here. And open it up, hold that with my finger and visually see it's about there and slide that through. What I meant by flat danglies is like some stickers or something, just so I totally pulled my thread out, thread out of my needle when I grabbed it to pick it up. So anyways, danglies, yeah, I want some like little stickers hanging off of something. That way it'll have a little bit of interest on the inside and kind of, I'll probably add some flowers or something, because it is a pretty masculine page. Maybe some little lacy bits. So I'm going to pull off my clips now because I need my page to lay flat so I can tie this. There we go. So I still have my bottom piece here. This is the top. Now is the time to adjust the tightness of your strings. All right, pull it nice and tight. I grab both of them. I'm going to shut my journal and I'm going to give it a nice tap and pull. See? And if I hear a snap, then I know that's tight enough. Now this is my inside string. This is the bottom piece. And I am going to go underneath the top. And I'm going to put this one underneath this bottom, the piece from the middle underneath the bottom string now, so that I have them on each side of the page, just like that. And I'm just going to tie a knot. And sometimes I tie 3 knots, sometimes I tie 5 knots. Yeah, it just depends. It just depends on what I feel, how much string I have, and all that kind of thing. So today I'm feeling, let's go ahead and call 3 good enough. See all that stringage I have hanging down? Look at that. It's craziness. So again, make sure it's nice and tight. I like it. Make sure it went through all of the little pages, which it did. As long as it went through in one spot on the smaller pages, it will hold it in there. And our glassine bag, super fun. Okay. So right now, I'm actually going to trim this down just a smidge. I don't want it hanging that far out of there. All right, there. Alrighty. I'm going to put all of my little clippy bits away. Let's add in the fun stuff. I'm going to lose my needle. I'm going to set it there. Let's add in the fun stuff. So I have all these lovely goodies. And I know that I didn't use the string, the embossing thread that I was sent with the kit for her. I just want to use up what I had left over. So I'm going to put this in my little binding bin up here, and I'll use that in the next few journals that I make. Let's go ahead and pull out these fun things. So I have 2 snippets, and I have some journaling cards and some paint cards. I have a postcard. I have that envelope. I want to use the envelope. I have some really pretty lace. I have burlap, a napkin, and another tag. So all of the tags and journaling cards I'm going to set off to the side because I'm not sure if I want to glue those on the page or make pockets and then put those in there. But I do know, and this napkin I'm not sure about yet either. Probably on a white page. Probably going to Mod Podge that baby down. But this I know I want to flip out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and decide where I want to put that. And I'm thinking I want it, because it is white. It is white for right now. I can totally add something really fun to that later on. I need it to be on a thicker page, not a flimsy little page like this. But also, I'm thinking, ooh, and I always go like this, you guys. I always add it to the edge and have it flip out. But what if we did it where it flipped up or even flipped down? Oh my gosh, I've never done that, and I think this is the perfect time to do that. That is so cool. I'm loving that. I'm just loving that. Yes, yes. Let's make it flip up. And I think I want to add it. I think let's add it to, well, this is a pocket page now. Let's add it to, well, yeah, let's add it to the back. And we're going to make it flip up. And I have to make sure it's on a page. Obviously, that is long enough, and that one is. So there we go. I'm going to add that right here. Now, I'm not going to like glue this down right now because I still want to be able to maybe add a decorative page here or something like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and washi this there to hold it in place so that way when I come to that page, I will be able to remember it goes there. And if I decide then I can do some stamping or stenciling or whatever I want, maybe I'll just write. I'm ripping my washi. It's not working out very well for me. Here we go. I love this music washi. It's one of my favorites that I have. So I'm just going to washi that down there, and that will hold that in place for me to remember that I want it there and still allow me the ability to decorate this page when I get to it. All right, now the snippet rolls. Definitely I want one on the first half of the page, I'm sorry, the journal, and one on the back half of the journal. So this one is green background and this one is a brown background. They basically have the same type of papers, one on each, and they are sewed in the middle, so it does add that nice little thing there. And because they are so long, I think I want to add one as a belly band, and then I'll have a little bit left over to add in on a collage page. So now that I know that it's going to be a belly band, I want to add that to, let's do it to a page. I want to decorate. I like those flowers, but I want to decorate that. And that I really like too. Let's add it to, it's got to go on a big page, not the flip out. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm thinking I ran out of pages already where I can put it. I'm thinking let's add it to the vellum on this half, because I'll be able to have something, because you can't write on vellum and you have to already add a pocket or something to that. So it's a really easy fix to do that. So I'm going to add it to this page. Now, do I want it to have more of this red on the page? No, I don't. I'm not a big fan of red, but a little bit there, not a problem. Because guess what? I'm going to cover that up. I'm going to cover that up. I am. So I'm going to just go ahead and line this up at the top here and cut my snippet off on the edge of the paper. And we will have a belly band. And this one I will glue down. So I want to make sure it goes up on the page there. Just like that. I have this nice little piece left over for something else. And I'm gonna use Fabrifix, and I like that. Now, one other thing I wanted to show you is that you'll see this other side as well here. So you'll have a fun element on this side. You are gonna have a little bit of bumpiness if you were gonna write in here, so you might not want to write directly in your journal. If you tend to add bulkier things, you may need to, that string's gonna bug me, I gotta cut it off. Add a hard cover page in there to write on so that your writing is smooth if that bothers you. And then you should be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to the top of my page here. And I like to put it more towards the edge of, like that's pretty center, and I didn't mean to do that. I like to add it more towards this side so you can see more of these flowers here, was what I was wanting to do, but it landed where it landed, and we're not going to throw a fit about it. So see, now you can see I need to trim off a little bit more here, but for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and glue right here because I know that will hold it in place. Just like that. Press and hold. And vellum is a really fun element to work with if you've never worked with it before. It really is a nice little touch to add to that page. It just looks so pretty already. Oh my gosh, super fun. Okay, now we have one more snippet. And I want that definitely on the back half of the journal. So I'm going to go right to the center and we're going to continue flipping through. And I want to add this one. I want to add it as, since we already did it on the vellum, I'm not going to do that again. I want to add it to, oh my gosh. This is a really thin page here, so I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do with that. I might have to back something on there. Maybe collage on it. I'm not sure. No, I think this is like too much of a focal piece. I want you to see those flowers. So I was thinking about using the typewriter paper. This one does have a lot of interesting text on here, and this one has enough space here for me to write on. So let's do it on this one. And I want to add it so that I have a tuck spot down here on the bottom and then one on the top. So I have enough of this, I should anyways, to do one across the bottom and one across the top, and I'll be able to tuck something really neat in here. So that is something else you can do with snippet rolls to add them. I'm saving my strings, you guys. I'm saving my pink strings. They're over here. I didn't throw it away. Yeah, that's always something fun. So let's go ahead and glue down this corner. I don't know why I'm using Fabrifix right now. I should be using Elaine's Tackett. Save the expensive glue for what it's made for, which is fabric, but it's right there and I just grabbed it. So we'll go with that. And I like this too because it's got a nice pretty piece of lace here. And I did these all which way, so it doesn't have a particular direction. And that was really hard for me. That was challenging for me as a creator because I really like things to go the right way, especially when it is in my journal. But I am trying to grow as a creator, as an artist, and just try new things. And if I end up not liking them, that's okay too. You can always cover it up. You can fix it. You can take it out. There's always multiple things that you can do if you end up not liking something. Okay. And that adds a really pretty, nice texture. It looks pretty. And I made that into a belly band slip right here on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and just add some glue down here. I didn't mean to do that. I was just thinking and talking and getting in the zone, and I meant to glue that as a pocket. So I'm just going to add the glue now. There we go. I want a pocket here and then a pocket at the top. So I definitely want to make sure I get this lace in here. And this is a little bit more interesting with that burlap. So I'm going to pull that in this way, and then I'm going to cut along here. So what I need to do, and I like that it says Hawaii, that's funny. I'm going to go ahead and get that lined out with this page, and then I'm going to press it into my book and fold it over on itself. And that's how I know where I'm going to cut. So there's ways around measuring, and it doesn't have to be exact. Nice little fun piece to add to my scrappy bits. And then this one, I want to glue the 3 sides. So I'll go ahead and do that now and add that in. Now this burlap, I'm going to put on the front cover. I know it's kind of ugly, but I think I'll be able to jazz it up with the rest of these snippet rolls. So let's go ahead, give that a nice crease. And this page has a lot of interest now. It still is kind of flipsy-flopsy, flimsy for me. But maybe I'll do some collaging on the other side instead of doing the writing. We'll see. Okay. Let's do... Oh, and I have this really pretty lace to do too. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and... I added the envelope. I added the 2 snippets. Oh, she's getting chunky monkey already. was thinking about adding this just like that. I'm going to pull it down. So I like things to look like off-centered. I'm going to add some lace to this. I think this will be really pretty. And because this lace is curvy, I was going to add it to the side. I think I'm going to add it to the far left side, which is going to use a lot of it up. But I think it looks really pretty. So I'm going to pull that down. I want to make sure I glue it down the right way. This was the inside of the shirt. So that's how that was glued. Or sewn, I mean. I just want to see here what this is going to look like. And if I don't like it, I can change my mind. Not a big deal. Because I don't necessarily like all of this burlap. But, and let's see here. I don't really have a whole lot of my snippet left, but I have enough that I can tuck in here. And this one is a different size. So what if we did something like that? I don't know. I'm looking at it on the camera and I don't like all this black. I'm not liking all the black lines. I don't have enough of that, so we're not going to add that. But we are going to add the lace with the burlap to the front cover. And let's do one of these journaling cards. So here are my journaling cards. I'm trying to grab them. They're all stringy. I should have 5 or 6 journaling things. I have a tag, 2 tags. Okay, so we have 5 journaling cards, and each one has a different piece of cluster on there. And I'm looking because I want the cluster. That one is a pull-out tab, and that one is a tab. So I definitely want a cluster piece. And I think, okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the back sides of these and go with, I want the one, I think I'm going to go with this one because it has the most amount of pink on it. And I think that will get us set up for what is inside of this journal with these really pretty roses. And just make it a more delicate journal. I'm going to round the 3 corners really quickly. There we go. Okay, I'm liking that. And there's still plenty of room here for me to write on my journal if I wanted to add a word or something to the front of that. Super, super pretty. I could still add in the snippet roll, but I think I have enough interest right here with this lace, and then I don't really care for that man down there, but that's all right. I'm not worried about it right now. So I'm thinking pull it up a little bit. That's what the front of my journal is going to look like. Let's go ahead and glue this to my fabric. Yeah, I almost glued the whole entire thing. Let me glue my fabric down, and then I will add that to the top of it because I don't want to add it and then it glue down to the page, to the back of the journal, if that makes any sense. And I'm going to add a little bit of this Fabrifix here on the edge like that. And I want to make sure I'm able to cut it off if I need to. All right, that should be plenty. Grab this back over here, pull it back in, and line that up. Okay, I'm going to open my journal up and I'm going to work this way with it. I can really press it into the fabric and the cover and just get that nice and lined out. Make sure this is going the right direction. Yep. Okay. Now you can see I'm talking about how I can trim off the edge here because it's a little bit hanging over the edge. Okay, now I've got a big burlap mess. When you cut burlap, it just shreds itself. Yeah, it always does that. It's hairy all over for days up in here. Okay, I feel like that's pretty good here. Grab that back over here. I snipped it a little bit crooked. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. All right. Let's do, oh my gosh, where'd the journal card go? Oh no, what did I do with it? There it is. Let's do the journal card, and then I'll put the lace on the top of that, I think is what I want to do. The other way, Amber. The flat edge. There we go. Okay, this one's going to go sit here. This is probably the most dynamic journal cover I have made. Definitely with the most amount of interest on the front cover, and I am just digging it. Super pretty. I'm trying to cover up as much of the black lines as I can. Okay, I think I want it like that. All right. So you'll notice that I didn't glue that all down. I'm not going to waste a bunch of my Fabrifix to glue down a bunch of burlap. So I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm just going to go around the edge. And this one I'm going to glue a little bit more because I want to make sure that it sticks down and doesn't come off, because I mean the cover's going to be used quite a bit. But here's my thought on not gluing down all that fabric on the burlap. And the reason why I didn't do that is I was thinking I could have a spot to tuck my pen in there. Watch this. It's going to be super cool. If it works. If it works. So that means I need to slide that over a bit. There. I have a spot to tuck my pen. How cool is that? See, just came up with that on the fly. Did not pre-plan that. Did not even... Guys, don't think that I have all these ideas pre-planned and, you know, gosh, I could never craft like that. Don't think like that, because ideas just flow. When you get in the zone and you just find what works for you, and, you know, I quit being scared of the camera and messing up, because you know what? It's all a process. It's all a process. Now this I'm going to trim down before I start gluing. I know that's going to be the best option for myself. And so I'm just going to trim this down right there. Plenty of lace left for other fun to be had on the inside. Okay, I'm going to glue the lace down, and that'll be the end for this video here. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I really have enjoyed this process. We'll come back. We're going to add some more fun bits to this. But I can hear little man is awake from his nap. So I'm going to finish this up, and I'll be back on the next video, you guys. Stay tuned. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll talk to you really soon. Bye-bye, guys.